Hello and welcome to the 4th episode in my playthrough of Pokémon Trinity, a Pokémon fan game developed by me, Updog734. So in this episode, we are starting off with heading into the Stone Quarry. Alright. So right away we find Cal with his Mew in the Stone Quarry, and he says, well, if it isn't the young prisoner. I'm glad to see you in better shape. You look like a bona fide trainer now. Say, did you happen to pass a woman with long light blue hair on your way to the Stone Quarry? In fact, we did. So you tell him about your run-in with the Liberators and the woman called Virgo. They were already almost to Larkinch City then. Damn, they moved quick. Lady Virgo is one of the 12 Zodiac sisters. They are the most powerful of all the Liberators. I've heard that 8 of them were tasked with closing the gyms of Zarko 6 years ago. I can't believe Virgo already made it this far, but it sounds like you were there to stop her progress. Oh dear, oh dear. Mew, you know what this means. We've got to get moving again. Thanks for the information. Here, take these. Now that you're a seasoned trainer, you can start to beef up your Pokemon a bit. So he gives you a couple vitamins, calcium and zinc. Until we meet again. Alright, Mew, do your thing. So they're going to teleport away again, leaving you with a little bit of vague information. So all we know so far is that Cal somehow knows these Zodiac sisters and the Liberators. He, again, was kind of vague in his information, but we get a little bit of information on who those people are now. So the Zodiac sisters essentially in the game are like the admins of the Liberators. If you think about Team Rocket, how they had like the admins, which were like the more powerful trainers. And then we also know that those Zodiac sisters were the ones that closed the gyms down. So also a theme going through here is that the Zodiac sister with a type advantage against the gym leader went to that specific gym. So for example, Virgo uses flying types, super effective against max bug types. So we will start in the Stone Quarry, which is kind of like a little maze of rocks. It acts somewhat like a cave to where you can encounter wild Pokemon in any space. And actually, this is the Pokemon I was going to be looking for. In the last episode, I mentioned that I might do like a poll on Twitter or something to decide our next team member. The more I thought about it, I'm still trying to build kind of a follower base on Twitter and YouTube, so I didn't think I would get much response from it at this point. So instead, I just kind of made the decision on my own. And I know going through the Stone Quarry, there's a lot of rock types. Obviously a few ground types as well. So I figured a ground type would help out the team anyways. So I was going to search for Diglett. And of course he was the first person we ran into. So that works good. Another quick thing to mention. I think we're going to catch him right here. Yep. Another quick thing to mention is I didn't add Centret to the little background graphic of our team over to the right. Mostly because I don't really think he's going to stay on the team. He's more just as somebody to use cut for us. But obviously I just added Diglett here because he's going to be, or she is going to be, one of our team members from this point going forward, at least for the time being. And we'll switch her to the front.
The next day.
So I ended up recording this video in kind of 2 parts. Last night when I caught Diglett, I was going to do a grinding montage of leveling him up to where our other team members were, but that was taking a really long time, so I got him up to, or I got her up to 15 last night, and then I'm recording the rest of this the next day, just because it ended up taking quite some time. So here's where we're at now. Beldum leveled up to 15, didn't learn any new moves. Murkrow did learn Wing Attack at 15, so we replaced Peck with Wing Attack. And then Diglett, we got to 15. She was very, very hard to level up because she started with only Scratch as her attacking move. Eventually, at level 12, she learned Mud Slap, which helped a little bit. I was able to then go down to the Stone Quarry here and just battle the wild Pokemon to level up more because Ground's super effective on a lot of the rock types. But it wasn't until 15 that she finally learned Magnitude, which is really going to make her more of a valuable team member going forward. And again, we still have Centret here just for Scratch, but not going to include him in the little graphic on the video here because he's not really a part of the team. So, moving forward now into the Stone Quarry, we'll battle our first Pitman. I actually took the same graphic as the gym leader from Generation 4. Rourke, I think is how you say his name. He was the first gym leader, but they looked perfect with the hard hats and everything, that they would be working in a quarry. Now that we have Diglett too, we have pretty good advantages in the quarry here. Obviously Murkrow is not going to do us much good with the flying type, but we have steel and ground to work against the rocks. There are a couple, I think I mentioned this in the first part of this video, but there are a couple ground types, like obviously Diglett, and then you can also find, drawing a blank, oh, Drillbur. You can find Drillbur in this quarry as well. Other than that, there's a couple like rock ground combos. You can find Geodude, Onix. I believe you have a rare chance of finding Graveler. And then also some other rock types that you can find that aren't ground. You can find Aaron, you can find Nosepass Wild, and you can also find, I believe it's one of the rare ones, but you can find Larvitar in the Stone Quarry as well. The Stone Quarry does not have any day-night differences. So we get a nugget here from this item chest. All the same Pokemon during the day and night. Same percentages. There's a Drillbur. I think we're actually going to run from some of the wilds just so... Oh, we can't escape this one, I guess. But just to save a little bit of time. Not make the video as boring. Alright, I guess we really do have to fight this one, though. He doesn't want to let us run. I always forget, I always think that Drillbur is steel and ground, but he's actually just ground type. When he evolves into Excadrill is when he gets that double steel type, double steel and ground. So the quarry can be a little bit frustrating because, as I said, it's like a cave, so you find wild encounters everywhere you step. On top of being a maze. Can be very good for leveling up your Beldum though, since everybody will have Beldum from the beginning. Also, one reason why I really was shying away from getting a fire type on our team at this point, because I knew he was just going to struggle in the Stone Quarry anyways. So even though I like fires, we foregoed it for now. Let's battle this Pitman. Oh, we got a wild first. I know there's a rare chance to find Boldore, so I think you can find Roggenrola in here as well. So a lot of rock types. That's something with this game, since I'm trying to include all the Pokemon up to Generation 7. There's usually a variety of different generational Pokemon in the same route, which I think that's pretty neat. And it's mostly either route themed or type themed. So for example, as I mentioned in the Central Plains, there's a lot of like horses, dogs, rodents, whereas the Stone Quarry is a little bit more type themed, so you have a lot of rock types, a few ground, but mostly rock because there is a section in the map where we're going to find more ground types later. So I tried my best to just stick with ground or rock types in the Stone Quarry. Well, that's not going to be good for us. Alright, that's alright. So we'll be able to showcase Diglett a little bit here. I don't use Diglett often in Pokemon games. I think I've maybe used him once or twice in a playthrough. So we'll be able to see if he's any good. And of course he's getting those high magnitude hits, so that's not going to be good for Diglett either. Oh no. Alright, so we'll see if Murkrow is able to handle this, because I don't have any revives yet. We may be okay if we go for Pursuit. Well, obviously Magnitude isn't going to do anything to us here, so hopefully he doesn't realize that and goes with Rock. If he goes with Rock moves, we're going to be kind of screwed. And he does. Okay. Alright. So we handle the first gym leader fine, but this random trainer is going to give us problems. I think it's mostly because he got lucky with those Magnitude 9 and Magnitude 10 right in a row. If we would have gotten a lower Magnitude, I'm sure Beldum probably would have survived it. We're just going to go ahead and get the Faint here, though. Or the Blackout, whatever they call it. That'll let us heal anyways. I'll speed through this part here so we can just pop right back into that battle. Okay, so here we are facing off against this Graveler again. I think for a safeguard, let's try to confuse him. And it's good he goes for the Rock Polish here. He's already faster, so it really won't matter that he raised his speed. Maybe we'll put up an Iron Defense as well. Very good that he went for Rollout, because especially if he gets hurt with Confusion, his Rollout effect will go away. It'll go back to normal damage instead of building upon itself. But I think we're in a little bit better of a setup here. I must have underestimated him the first time. There we go. So we get one where he hurts himself. Follow that up with our Metal Claw, and we should be in much better shape. Surprising that he's not going for the Magnitude now. It's always interesting to me how trainers make their decisions on what to use. Especially logically if this character has battled us before and he knew that Magnitude worked well. It's surprising that he wouldn't be using it. I'm just going to use Confusion here to finish him off, just so we don't waste the power points on Metal Claw. I'm sure that'll get us to 16, because we'll get a good amount of experience from it being a not fully evolved, but a 2-stage of a Pokemon. It might get us close. Oh, about halfway to 17. So we will kind of share the love here and put Diglett first to give him some experience. I want to not worry about Murkrow because he's going to struggle anyways. So we will just, in that way, it looks like it's blocked to the left, so we'll have to go to the right here. It's been a long time since I made the map for the Stone Quarry, so even I'm forgetting the correct way to go, which is kind of good for this playthrough. It makes it a little more natural. So the move animation for Magnitude is one that I created using the graphics from Pokemon Essentials package that come with it. So Elite Battle System, the battle implementation and kind of the updated graphics from Luca SJ, they include some animations, some new animations that are a little bit more updated, but not all. So a lot of times when moves don't have an animation in Pokemon Essentials, they default to the little burst on the enemy or the person that's using it. And I don't really like that for a lot of moves. Some of them it's okay, especially some normal type moves like, I think Pursuit does that, which is okay for the purposes of that move, I think, even though it's dark. But for some, I like to change them and just make them look a little better. So Magnitude here, the best I could do is kind of the rocks flying up from the ground as if the ground is shaking. So a lot of the moves basically are dependent on the type that I made their animations for. Like a lot of the electric moves have the same little electric burst. There's a Roggenrola. Oh, we might have to use potion here. I did make this. See, I was talking about this in a previous video too. I think I made the. Actually, you know what? Here, we'll switch to Murkrow to give him some experience against Machop. But I did make the routes increasing difficulty as most games, but I wonder if the Pitmen are too much of a jump from the previous route. I think they're doable so far, but obviously from watching the video, you can leave a comment and let me know if you think otherwise. So even though fighting is good on Dark, it's not super good because we have that flying type to kind of defend against it. So that's pretty good. And then after this battle, we'll keep going through the quarry. There we go. So we get some good experience from that. So we'll keep going this way, and I just realized that's a dead end, so we'll go down next. Pretty soon here I'm going to have to run back and heal. I don't want to use too many potions because I want to store some in the bag still for any difficult battles, like the Graveler that just beat us. Nose Paths are pretty nice to run into at this point for us because they give us some pretty good experience and they're not real threatening to our team right now. We can handle them pretty easily. It was really difficult getting Diglett from 9 to 12 with only Scratch. I had to do that in the Central Plains. But then even when he hit 12 and learned Mud Slap, that was even hard because I got down to the Stone Quarry to train him on those wilds. But he only gets 10 Mud Slaps, and it's not that powerful of a move anyways, so it still was really difficult to get him up to 15. It took a long time. I think it took a couple hours. But I'm glad we've been getting really lucky with the wild encounters for our team. Like, I know we found Murkrow on level 5, which was the highest for him, and we found Diglett here on 9, which I think that might be the highest for him too. It's either 9 or 10, so I'm pretty happy with that too, because otherwise it just would have taken longer to level him up. So that box was a good example of an item chest that can have more than one item, so we got 2 different things out of it, which is kind of cool. I like that idea that they're like chests placed throughout the world that might have multiple things. The other idea that I play with a lot is, in one game that I was creating that I never really finished, I had the items to where you can actually see what the item is on the ground. Like if it's a potion, it's just sitting there as a potion. You can see it from the overworld instead of the regular Pokeballs that you see in the normal games. Which that's fine too. It always just confused me, I guess. Why would they be in Pokeballs? Because you keep Pokemon in Pokeballs, not items generally. So that was always a little odd to me. Diglett gets to 16 here, so that's pretty cool. I think, Beldum 16 as well. We'll put Murkrow out front just to see if he can handle some battles. So there's 2 exits to the Stone Quarry. Here's the first one, but we have this Pitman that just says, "Sorry, I'm working here." So that's obviously the exit to Barnsley Town. So my dog started barking, so I stopped recording and just picked up right back here after he was done with that. So this is just the trainer that was a little bit south of us. I didn't do anything else in between. I don't think this is going to be very good for Murkrow, but we'll just try it. Yeah, especially with a move like Rock Blast, I'm sure that'll knock us out. Okay. So we'll try to defeat this guy. We'll bring out Beldum again. And then after this, after we get this win, I'll run to the center and heal. I know Metal Claw doesn't have 100% accuracy, which is kind of annoying. Something like 95 or 90. don't really know why. Some moves make sense, I guess, like more powerful moves like Fire Blast or Thunder, I know have lower accuracy, probably because they have a higher power output, but Metal Claws just seems like a pretty basic move, so I don't know why they felt the need to decrease its accuracy. I'm sure, actually, I know I could change that in the fan game here. I could increase it to 100, which I might do that. That might be a good idea. Especially since it's a move you get pretty early on. But also, I guess that would make it a little bit easier. Might make the game a little bit too easy. So I might keep it for now, too. Something I'll have to think about. I'm going to try to confuse Boldore here, because I know he's going to be a little stronger. We don't want the same Graveler situation to happen. Rock Blast, man, that's gonna... That move is kind of the bane of our existence right now. We hung on with one. And he's confused. Hopefully he gets hurt in confusion. We'll see. Yes, alright. That's good for us. It looks like he's going to have to get hurt in confusion one more time for us to be able to beat him with Beldum. If not, we'll just run and... Or we'll beat him with Diglett pretty easily, I think. And then... Yeah, and of course he snaps out of confusion here. So we'll have to finish him off with Diglett, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Although Diglett is half health, but he should be faster, I would think. And we'll play it safe and go with Magnitude. That'll do it. Okay, so I will do a quick run to the Pokemon Center to heal. Okay, so here is the last trainer we battled. I did a couple of the wild battles to get Diglett up to 17 during that little sped up part. So we'll switch back to Beldum in front, let him get some experience. I think every Diglett that we've seen since the one we caught has been level 7, so definitely glad that we got the level 9 one. I'll run from some of these wild battles. I honestly probably shouldn't even be worried about this Diglett, but that's alright. We'll beat him, and then I'll try to be a little bit more picky about which wilds we take on, because that little tiny bit of experience probably isn't worth the time. But if we run into somebody that'll give us some good experience, maybe we'll stick around. I always can't escape from these Drillburs. I don't know why that is. There we go. I don't think they don't have an ability like Arena Trap or anything, so I don't know why they're difficult for us to escape from. So here's a level 11 Drillbur. I'll knock him out because he's a higher leveled one. Rapid Spin, that animation right there, is a good example of that standard burst. So if a move doesn't have a set animation or anything that you've specified, it'll default to that. Otherwise, you have to create one using. There is like graphic packages that come with Pokemon Essentials that you can use. You just have to set up how you want the animation to look, which is actually really fun to do that. And in a future video, once I get to making the game, I'm sure I'll include that. So there is a Swirlix right there. And if you remember, we're keeping an eye out for a lost Pokemon, so we'll go check that out in a second. I'm gonna battle this Pitman up here first. I forgot Dwebble. You can find Dwebble, obviously, in the Stone Quarry. Not my favorite design from Generation 5, but I do like the idea of Bug and Rock. I guess he's not my least favorite design either, him and Crustle, but just the idea is neat to me to have a Bug and Rock type. I guess we already had one with Armaldo, the fossil from Gen 3. See, I like him better. So, I included Pitman Boom Boom here. I thought he was kind of a funny person to play a little joke on TNT use in quarries, or how explosives are used to create holes in the rock or to get the rock down. So I have him have a bunch of Voltorbs, which originally, and I'm pretty sure I changed this, but originally they all just had self-destruct, and they were lower leveled, so I thought that would be okay, but it ended up being difficult. I guess I figured if I made them low level, self-destruct wouldn't do much, or maybe it was Explosion I gave him, but I know Explosion deals more damage, I think, so I ended up giving them just normal Voltorb moves. Beldum gets to 17. That's awesome. We'll switch to Diglett here, just because he'll be immune to that electric. And he'll take out these Voltorbs pretty easily. Magnitude is such an interesting move to me because I feel like there's a huge difference between Magnitude 7 and like 8. Everything else seems pretty much linear, like it goes up in a step fashion, but the jump from 7 to 8 seems big to me for some reason. I'm sure it's just a normal equation that's used, but I don't know, 8 seems like it deals a ton of damage and 7 just seems okay. Alright, Boom Boom, so we beat him. Let me put Diglett in front for now. This Beldum is a little bit crippled. We'll check out the lost Pokemon there. Actually, just from experience with making the game, I'm going to wait on that because I'm pretty sure I included to where when you talk to the Pokemon, you have the option to just automatically travel back to Larkin City to return it. So that'll be a nice little way that we can return there quickly without having to travel back to heal our Pokemon. So we'll save that for when we need to heal, which will be probably pretty soon. I know it's only Beldum that's in a bad way right now, but we have one more trainer here. So we'll take care of the trainer, we'll check out the mysterious rocks, and then probably return the Pokemon so that we can heal. I'm going to run from this wild so we can battle the trainer who's standing in front of the chest here. So you can see those rocks in the bottom right that were colored a little bit differently. Those are those suspicious rocks that Elliot was telling us about. Again, I'm going to switch out to Murkrow here, give him a little bit of experience since he'd be good against Machop. Ooh, hopefully we get the speed off it. That low kick did really good against Murkrow. Okay. Alright, good. That wing attack is so much stronger than Peck. Even if it's only a little bit stronger in numbers, it seems to make like a world of difference. And then we're going to have to switch right back. With Onyx, Murkrow would not fare well against an Onyx. See, magnitude 6, but I find that Onyx is really not as defensive as you would think he would be for a rock type. Most rock types, I think, have a lot of high defensive stats, but I don't know, Onyx just seems kind of weak. That obviously goes up a bit when he evolves into Steelix, because Steel typing is like defensive against everything, but I don't know, you would just think being a giant rock snake, he'd be like pretty defensive. Alright, and Aaron is perfect because ground will be 4 times on him since he's Steel and Rock. So that'll be pretty easy, but I think he can have Sturdy, so we'll see if he hangs on with Sturdy. Yep. Always really, really liked Aaron, his line. Aggron, especially at the end, just one of my favorite designs. I've used him on a lot of different teams. Don't like that he has 2 4 times weaknesses to ground and fighting, but other than that, he can be pretty bulky, so I like him a lot. Oh, alright, Diglett's trying to learn Bulldoze, so that's even better. That's awesome. Okay, I think we're going to delete Mud Slap here. Because I want to keep Scratch so he has a move that's not ground type, just in case he's put up against a flying type or something like that. And then Sand Attack, not my favorite move, but it can be helpful if we're really struggling and we need to lower their accuracy. We get a rare candy here. We'll probably end up giving that to Murkrow. She's a little bit, or he is a little bit behind. I always mix up which of our team is a boy and girl, but so far we have genderless Beldum, a male Murkrow, and a female Diglett, so I'll have to try to remember. Okay, so these mysterious rocks, and you know what? I don't think I caught anyone with Rock Smash, so let's see if someone we have can learn it. Diglett can, and you know what? I am going to give it to him. And now I'm debating if we get rid of Scratch or Sand Attack. I'm leaning towards Scratch because it's the same amount of damage. Not that it would be any good against a flying type, but at least it would do something. And I don't want to get rid of Sand Attack yet, just in case we need that accuracy lower. So we'll let Diglett have Rock Smash for now. Not quite sure how that works, how Diglett can smash rocks, but okay, so let's smash these up and see what's going on over here. Nothing there. Nothing there. But under this last one, we find a narrow tunnel under the rock. It looks just big enough to squeeze through. So of course we're going to. We find this dark cave down here, a little tunnel. You hear something up ahead. Is that someone in my cave? Show yourself, coward. So similar to Mac here, we find someone else. Who are you? What are you doing down here? How did you even get in? Come on, you better start talking, or else. You explain who you are, and you tell her about Elliot's plan to find all the gym leaders. So she just laughs real hard at you. You had me going there for a second, kid. Well, you did get a few things right. I'm Greta, the battle-hardened gym leader. Well, I used to be at least, until the Liberators came to my quarry. If it weren't for that nasty bitch with the blindfold. Never mind, you wouldn't even begin to understand what I've been through. You tell her how Mac has agreed to join your cause. You think Mac will convince me to join this suicide group? You're hilarious, kid. I respect the guy, but come on, Mac is weak. Being able to beat Mac in battle isn't all that impressive. My rock-type Pokemon would squash his bugs into oblivion. Tell you what, if you do me a favor, I might consider to entertain this conversation. My rock Pokemon helped me dig this little cave under the quarry, but I won't let them do all the work alone. Problem is, my pickaxe broke from all the hacking away I was doing. You should be able to find the materials I would need to make a new one in the Central Plains. I need a new wooden handle and some iron ore. If you bring me those materials, I'll think about taking you a bit more seriously. So we find the second gym leader kind of holed up in her own cave down here. We have a little sleeping bag and a little backpack that she has down here. Kind of similar to Mac, I wanted to make the second gym leader not too different, I guess, but different enough. So instead of just a basic battle, you first have to do like a little side quest for her by finding those pickaxe materials. So just to kind of quicken this, we're going to find that lost Pokemon. That way we can sort of fast travel back to Larkinge City. That way we'll be able to heal up. Diglett's already 18, so we'll switch him out for now. Alright, Swirlix looks lost. It must belong to the little girl from Larkinge City. Do you want to take it back to her? So we'll say yes. Come on, Swirlix. And we'll go right back to the little girl. She is so happy. I thought I would never see you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mommy gave me this to cheer me up, but now I don't need it anymore. So you get a shiny stone out of the retrieval of the lost Pokemon. So she loves her Swirlix so much, and Swirlix looks happy. So they're reunited, and you get a shiny stone out of it. Shiny stone obviously used to evolve certain Pokemon. No one that we have at this point, but good item to have. We'll heal up quickly here. Obviously, as was the trend with Mac, we are going to be battling Greta soon here, and she uses Rock type. I'll check one last time here if we can afford any more super potions. I'm going to save our money. We already have 6. I think that's a good amount. You really have to be kind of tight with your money in this game, I think. I don't give you a whole lot to start with, just enough to get you some Pokeballs because nobody gives them to you. Okay, so in order to find the wood and the iron ore, you have to check the trees. So if you search for a suitable wooden handle, you find a thick branch. And then if you click the trees again, nothing will happen. And this guy kind of foreshadowed that there's something shiny in the rocks. You can't you can't check the little rocks, but it's the bigger formations that say search the rock pile for ore, and then you find iron ore from there. So it's a very, very easy side quest, and I'll check out those items in the bag. They can't really do anything else except for sit there until you give them to Greta. I must have made them key items, yep. So you have a thick branch, it would make a great wooden handle, and you have iron ore, it could be melted down to make a tool. So it's, again, a very easy little task. And here, you know what, I'm going to speed through this part just because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of wild encounters. So I'll speed it up until we get back to Greta's cave. So I stopped it here again because I forgot Swirlix does leave behind something. So you get the item Whipped Dream from the Swirlix. He left that behind, which is the item that will evolve Swirlix. In this game, there's a little bit of a change to trade evolutions. I think normally you have to trade a Swirlix holding a Whipped Dream, but in this game you just use it as an evolution stone. You just give it to a Swirlix. Obviously, we don't have a Swirlix at this point, but that will probably be the only way that you can get Whipped Dream in the game. Again, since there's so many Pokemon in the game, I have to make it kind of difficult to get each individual one. So it would be hard to make Whipped Dream and every evolutionary item like readily available. So you may only be able to get one Slurpuff in the game. These Diglets are really frustrating me because I do think some of them can have Arena Trap. I was really struggling to run from one of them a second ago, so I just ended up battling it. And they did that tiny amount of damage to Beldum, which really bothers me because I don't like going into a big battle with any kind of damage. Not that it would really matter, but I really don't want to use a potion just in case we need it in the battle. Alright, so we have the items for Greta. So we'll go back down in her hole here. You found the materials I need? Great. Hand them here. You pass Greta the thick branch and iron ore. Go, Mad Cargo. Be a doll and melt down this iron ore for me, will ya? Excellent. Thanks, kid. Alright, so here's the deal. I never had a traditional gym. I always just operated right out of the Stone Quarry. Back when the Liberators came to close the gym, some chick with a blindfold came with a bunch of grunts. I fought to protect my quarry, but she bested me. She used some wicked water-type Pokemon too. Hardly made it a fair fight. But that's not where it ends. That bitch had the nerve to tell me to get out of town. Naturally, I refused, but then she made quite the threat. Either you leave and never return, or we'll drown the whole Stone Quarry. She even had the balls to tell her Swampert to start using Surf. So I complied. I couldn't stand by and let all those innocent Pokemon get hurt, not to mention all the hardworking pitmen. But I didn't want to go too far, so me and my Pokemon secretly built this tunnel under the quarry. We covered it with pretty strong rocks, but I guess they weren't impenetrable. Mad Cargo has a fire in her eyes. Maybe it's time to take a stand after all. Alright. If you prove your strength by beating me in battle, I'll be on board too. Just let me know when you've prepared your team. So kind of a little curveball here that she has a Mad Cargo, because he's also fire type, obviously, but all of her team does have the rock typing. And we are probably just going to jump right in as it is. I definitely want to save Diglett for Mad Cargo, because he's going to be 4 times effective on Mad Cargo. It's one of the reasons I wanted a ground type, because I knew what was coming. Beldum's going to help out in the early stages of her other 2 Pokemon, because they're rock type as well. So we'll save it here and jump into our battle. Have you prepared? It's been too long since I had a good battle. Give us all you've got. So just like Mac, she has the same animation but with a brown background for her rock typing. Alright, so she starts with Cranidos, who, fun fact about Cranidos and Rampardos, I believe it's Rampardos that has the highest base attack stat of any non-legendary Pokemon. So his attack can be pretty fearsome. I don't think his defense is very good though, especially if he goes with Headbutt, which is not going to be good on our steel typing. Oh, but he gets a flinch. That's annoying. Mad Cargo is definitely her ace, definitely the tough one, and I believe she is level 20, and he gets 2 flinches in a row. That's exactly what I was talking about in another episode, that they always get those secondary effects, I feel like. 3 in a row, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to have to heal. That is crazy. It's alright, we do have 6 super potions, so I'm not that worried about using one. We had to make the switch from potions to super potions because otherwise potions wouldn't fully heal at this point. Alright, let's try again. Hope for no flinch. He's just totally spamming that headbutt. There we go, finally. Yeah, so his defense isn't all that great. It's just his speed and attack, and that's really nice that we hit the secondary effect there. So I'm proving myself wrong, that we did get a secondary effect. But we get the increased attack, which is very, very nice for us. I really hope she uses her other Pokemon first, but I kind of doubt it. I think she's going to try to send out Mad Cargo. She is, so I really don't like doing this because we have the increased attack that's going to go away, but we really have to switch to Diglett. I just know if Diglett ends up getting hurt from Mad Cargo pretty bad, we're going to need Beldum for her 3rd Pokemon because Murkrow is going to struggle. Alright, so her best Pokemon, level 20. I'm going to go for Bulldoze first because that, well, we are faster, but just in case we weren't, it would lower speed. And that's going to be pretty good. So 1 more, and we'll be able to beat her. So definitely, if you're playing through the game, I recommend getting a ground type. I think the first time I play tested it, because see, even ground types, her Mad Cargo is pretty powerful. So without that 4 times super effective, she is going to be a very hard gym to bat, or gym leader to beat. But with those ground moves, Diglett's good. I also did pretty well against her with Drillbur. I had him the first playthrough. So now at this point, she has a Rhyhorn left. I am going to switch back to Beldum just to see if he can beat the Rhyhorn, because if so, he'll get that experience to help get him probably to 18 or maybe close. If not, we have Diglett, and I'm not really too worried at this point. But definitely, if you're watching this, it seems like she was really easy, but I promise if you don't have a ground type, she is pretty tough. And I got lucky there with a crit too, so Beldum will help you to some extent, but I'm pretty sure like 1 or 2 embers kill Beldum from Mad Cargo. That was kind of the whole reason I included Mad Cargo as her ace, because I knew people would already have Beldum. That makes it pretty easy, so I had to throw in some kind of difficulty. Alright, so we're able to beat the second gym leader. She says, damn, you're pretty good. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting that. You fight with intensity and drive. I can tell you believe in your mission. Let me dust this off first, but you've earned it. So we get our second badge, the Quarry badge. Fitting name for the location. I see Mac already gave you a badge, so I'll spare you an explanation. Here, I used to hand these out as gifts to anyone who could beat me in battle, so of course I still have a ton of them. So you get Rock Tomb from her. I don't even know if she used that move once in her battle, but all of her Pokemon do have it. It's a great move. It inflicts damage and lowers the opponent's speed. Use it to bury your opponents in a heap of rocks. Now show me the way to the secret lab you were talking about. So we take her back to Elliot's lab. Great work, Updog. That's 2 gym leaders down, only 6 more to go. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out much about the whereabouts of the 3rd gym leader, but I'm working on it. Maybe you could use this time to go find your parents in Barnsley Town. Hopefully by the time you return, I'll have more information for you to use. Be safe out there. Okay, and if you talk to Greta, she says this guy sure does have a lot of fancy machines. So, that's all for Elliot for now. As he said, he doesn't have anything for us yet, so our first mission now kind of becomes the primary focus of getting back to Barnsley Town. So, I am going to heal up, and I will end this video here. I'll do the healing off screen, and I'll probably just get back to the end of the Stone Quarry off screen too. Maybe do a little training, but I'll update at the beginning of the next video if I do that, because next we are going to tackle the remote grasslands, this route here, and that'll lead us right to Barnsley Town. So in the next video, we will finally make it back home and see what's going on. So if you're interested in seeing how the storyline develops, definitely tune into the next video. You can like this one if you're enjoying watching the fan game. Leave a comment if you have anything you want to comment about it or want to copy yourself. And otherwise, that's going to be it for this video.